This is how the Catholic Church overthrew America. Yeah, you heard me, overthrew America. It's sad. And I was raised Catholic. I mean, my ancestors were Catholic, but I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie to myself. I mean, other people can stay in their lie, but let me tell you what an antichrist that church is. Because, see, I was told, no, it was the Catholics that were persecuted. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. And the Scottish Covenanters knew they weren't. And they didn't believe them. Because the Scottish Covenanters knew what persecution was like. Because they came here because they were being persecuted by Catholics. By King James I's sons who were Catholic. This is how that church got all this dominance in this country. It's how they've destroyed liberty in this country. And then to dig the knife in deeper, they turn around, steal the identity that really belonged to the Scottish Covenanters and the Protestants, and put it on themselves, that identity, when they, all along, were the persecutors. Sometimes it's easier to get angry because you don't want to get sad. You don't want to cry. Because that's like it's one or the other with this. Like, I mean, think about it. The Protestants, like, they all came here. Millions of them came, okay? Because God led them. The Vatican was leading the Catholics. It wasn't God. And yet they thought, fine, let England, let them all do. They can practice their paganism. We're not going to try to force it anymore. Like, we're going to come here. We're okay with that. And then what did the bastards at the Vatican do? Oh, that's not good enough. I mean, they'll follow you anywhere just to control you. The Scottish Covenanters said the Catholics were always using that, oh, they're being victimized, when really they were the ones that victimized others. Like, that's just a fact in history. But Catholics want to bury their head in the sand to the entire history of the Catholic Church. Sadly, though, early on, they got control of the country. Will anybody ever say it or recognize? No, because people will claim religious liberty, but this was diabolical what they did. Because the Catholic population in the U.S. grew from about 35,000 in 1790 to roughly 1.6 million by 1850, fueled largely by Irish and German immigrants. Later, from the 1880s to early 20th century, large groups arrived from Italy, Poland, Eastern Europe, and French Canada, significantly increasing the Catholic demographic presence. And what did that lead to? Well, the church was able to establish dioceses, parishes, and a vast network of schools, colleges, hospitals, and charitable institutions, which integrated immigrant Catholics into American society and preserved Catholic identity. Georgetown University, founded in 1791, became the first Catholic university in the U.S. While initially facing discrimination and native hostility, right, for good reason, the Protestants and their ancestors were persecuted by this church, and so they get away from them. And then that damn church who was persecuting them comes here, and then that church gets control of the majority of politics, and then wants to claim again and persecute the Protestants some more by saying the same bullshit. Catholics developed political influence in urban centers and built robust community organizations that protected their interests and facilitated social mobility, of course. I mean, because it's all about power to that church. It's not about Christ. Areas with historic French and Spanish Catholic settlements, such as Maryland, Louisiana, the Southwest, and California, provided early Catholic U.S. acquired, they were early until the U.S. acquired new territories. American constitutional protections of religious freedom allowed Catholicism to flourish in a religiously diverse environment, unlike the strict Protestant earlier colonial eras. The decline of the Covenanter influence in America, it makes me want to cry, it does, was not simply because the Catholic Church got the upper hand, but due to a combination of changing social, political, and demographic factors. The Covenanter original cause, rooted in the 17th century Scottish religious and political struggles, lost direct relevance in the new American context as the United States established a constitution that separated church and state. An invitation to welcome the stranger, and they're still doing it today. Yeah, they tell them, they say, oh, they're not getting religious freedom here, send them to America. What that Vatican did to the Protestants, it was wrong. It was wrong. I don't care if you're a Catholic. It was wrong. And they still continue to do it. They still continue to spit on this country. Oh, but I can't say that. Oh, no, the Catholics might be persecuted. No, you've been the ones persecuting. You persecuted since you were created. Nobody's been persecuting you. Any harm that comes to you is likely because of the Vatican, okay? Again, I mean, you know, God told you to look for what the fruits are so that you would stay away from the false churches. While facing Catholic growth, the decline of Covenanter numbers was more due to immigration trends, assimilation pressures, and internal debates rather than direct Catholic opposition. Yeah, the Catholics no longer had to try to debate with the Protestants because, well, they just did it the underhanded, satanic way of, we're just going to flood the country with a bunch of Catholics that don't know any better, and then they're going to vote all along the lines that the Vatican says, and will destroy and persecute the Protestants all over again in this new Jerusalem they created.